Hi there folks, welcome back to my channel, and for this video, this is actually in relation to a video that I did for my History, Myths and Legends series. So this is for the Gorbals Vampire one that I did, because I posted it on Facebook and some people were actually asking if I could come into the Gorbals, which is in Glasgow, and maybe show them where the graveyard is, so they can have an idea of the location for the story itself. So I've kind of parked up not far from the Southern Necropolis itself, so I'm going to wander down in a minute, let you see kind of what is there, and yeah, go for a bit of a wander, bit of a kind of look around and let you see what's going on. And yeah, I've never actually been to the Southern Necropolis before, first time here. It's kind of heading home from work, so I thought I'd stop off and do this wee video for y'all. So I'm just gonna grab my things, head on out. And before I do, if you are enjoying the channel, if you are enjoying the videos, you can click on the subscriber button below, click on that notification bell, leave some likes, leave some comments. It's always really appreciated. And if you would like to support the channel further, I will post a link to the channel's coffee.com page in the description bar below, as well as in a pinned comment in the comment section. So I'm just going to grab my things, head on out and go for a wander. So I'm just walking back down from where I parked the car, heading back down towards Caledonia Road, which is where the Southern Necropolis is located. And I don't know if maybe you can see in behind me, that is the top of the Gatehouse for the Necropolis. And again, this is the Southern Necropolis, not to be mistaken for the Necropolis next to Glasgow Cathedral. And Caledonia Road is one of the main roads through the Gorbals, which has always been seen as one of the rougher areas of Glasgow. It's always been seen as a bit more deprived, but then again, there's always going to be areas that at some point are going to be seen as being deprived or rough or whatever, but yeah, things always change. So I'm going to keep walking, head on down. I'm only a few hundred yards from the Necropolis. It does have quite an iconic gatehouse, so as if you're coming to the area to try and have a wander around it, you can't really miss it. It's right on the main road, quite imposing and quite iconic. That's the gatehouse for the Southern Necropolis over there. Just going to head over in a minute. When I get into the graveyard, I'll do a wee recap of the story of the Gorbals Vampire, which I will try and post a link to the video that I did in this video. So yeah, if you want to go watch that, you can. So this is me just walking in. So this is the gatehouse from the inside. I think there is a way to get to the top of the gatehouse itself, but I think it's all been closed off, probably for safety reasons. A shame that's happened to that though. So there are some Commonwealth war graves here somewhere. Try and keep an eye out for them. There's an information board, but the plexiglass is a bit worn, it's kind of difficult to read what it has to say. It's a website for the Necropolis itself. I'll try and put that in the description bar below for you all. So it was officially opened in 1840. The first burial being that of a 60-month-year-old daughter of Archibald Cochrane. So it's a fairly old graveyard, and even though it is right on the main road, yeah, well, it is kind of creepy enough that, yeah, I can imagine there being some sort of kind of ghost stories associated with this place. So, and I don't know if you can maybe see in the distance there's a tower, very kind of neoclassical, kind of Greek style tower. That's actually part of the ruins of what looks like a Alexander Greek Thompson church, which unfortunately appears to have been lost and left to fall into ruin. I'll try and see if I can find out more about that. Right. Even standing here and looking up that way, there's a certain creepiness, even though it's not even 3 o'clock yet. Yeah, so for those who haven't watched my previous video looking at the Gorbals Vampire, essentially the story is that back, I think it was in 1954, kids from the Gorbals they were talking about 2 kids from the local area having been killed and eaten by a supposed vampire who was like 7 feet tall and had iron teeth, and he was supposed to sleep here in the Southern Necropolis. And I think on quite a few nights the kids actually came in to the necropolis armed with homemade weapons and were hunting for this vampire, for the Gorbals, for what became known as the Gorbals Vampire, or the man with iron teeth. So I think the kind of local adults did try and stop the kids from doing it, but didn't quite work, because they continued to come in on quite a few nights before things started to die down. So that's kind of is one of those kind of local stories that I think in recent years people have started to talk about it more. It started to become better known in the local area, and it is one of those stories that does have quite a lot of kind of creep to it, and the fact it is tied to an actual location in Glasgow itself. So I'm going to keep wandering and try and see if I can show you more of the graveyard. Yeah, I didn't know this was here. The remains of a Franciscan community, I guess it must be monks, and the benefactors were found at the site of a medieval friary in Glasgow's Merchant City, found near Shuttle Street. They found in 2003, and they've been reburied here. And I think the 2 roughly hewn stones that it talks about in that plaque, which apparently come from the well at where the monastery was, those darker stones that have been set into the seats just there. So the stones that they mentioned are that one there and a similar one over there. Really did not know that was there. Yeah, I found one of the Commonwealth war graves. Young gentleman from the RAF, navigator. Died at the age of only 21. Well, that's me back from my little wander around the Southern Necropolis and the Gorbals. I would definitely say it's an interesting place to go and explore and have a wander around. It's kind of one of those kind of places that, yeah, generally I don't tend to get creeped out in graveyards. Again, I've worked in archaeology in the past. There's not really places that kind of tend to freak me out. And I'm not saying that I was freaked out in the Southern Necropolis, but there definitely was a creepy aspect to the site. Again, it's probably just knowing the story of the Gorbals Vampire and the fact that, yeah, as a site it is slightly overgrown. Yeah, but again, I think that just adds to the atmosphere of the place and just adds that element of interest to the necropolis itself. And I did find my visit to the Southern Necropolis interesting, and yeah, it was just nice to go and have a look at a site that I'd heard so much about in relation to the story of the Gorbals Vampire. And hopefully you've all found my little visit interesting. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.